Good morning everyone. In this video I'm going to analyze the live price action for EU and DXY to see what trading opportunities we have for today. You're going to see my technical analysis and strategy, so if you're interested in those then stick around. Right, let's get into it. We are here on the daily chart. Again, EU on the top, DXY on the bottom. What we can see on the daily chart is on EU yesterday closed out clearly as a huge bearish candle, possibly now showing some intent for price to continue in that direction. Same on DXY, we had a nice bullish close, and as I said before, we are clearly, it looks like being held in this area, rejecting this area, so that may show some intent to now go higher and continue what was the previous trend before this possible higher time frame pullback. There's not much of a story obviously on the high time frame daily, except for that we've got a previous daily high, previous daily low on both, and you can see at the moment those are still intact. Now onto the 4 hour. Let's quickly discuss again what the trend looks like. As I said in my previous video, this I believe is the bullish leg we're working within. We're still within that leg, which is why I still got it identified here. And we are showing possible internal signs of a breakdown. Now, this was a higher low, lower high that has so far failed to make a higher high. We then made like an internal lower low, right? We closed below these lows. We've now made a lower high and we've spiked just below that liquidity there, showing a possible lower low, right? But price has reached lower. At the moment, it's only swept it, giving us that pullback. However, it is showing some intention that yes, price looks like we may be at the beginnings of that new trend. And when I say new, I mean new in comparison to this previous trend of this higher high, higher low. On DXY, you know, we was making these lower lows, lower highs. We've kind of found some support here. Price has spiked up and created a new higher high, hasn't closed above it just yet on the 4 hour. However, now same with the above, it looks like we've made a higher low and we may go on and show an intention that we could now break this high and continue higher. So that would be obviously a weak EU. You'll see on the 1 hour and lower time frames, obviously I have these SMC things marked out here. So I'll explain those further on the 1 hour where it's clearer, but you can see we've also swept liquidity from this low, which was the driver for this pullback, the same way sweeping these lows was the driver for that pullback. So on the 1 hour, let's address these SMCs that I've marked out on the charts. Of course, this is the first SMC divergence. When we did not make a new lower low here, but made a new higher high on DXY below, that indicated EU strength. Why? Because it made a higher low, while DXY made a higher high, which in terms of SMC divergence, that means this liquidity that it's swept up here is now a driver for DXY to go lower, whereas EU refusing to make a lower low indicates strength, which played out, right? It pulled back to a premium, even if it's only temporarily, it didn't create a new higher high. And eventually, you know, we swept some buy side liquidity and broke down, making this slight lower low. Now, again, we've created SMC divergence with a lower low this time on EU and lower high on DXY, which indicates DXY weakness because it failed to make a higher high. And for EU, it would mean that this lower low here was a sweep of liquidity to sponsor a move higher, which is currently done / is doing. So if it was to repeat itself, it's only going to be a driver to bring price back into a premium, possibly this 1 hour POI. So then we can now continue our trend downwards if that's where price is going. So the SMC here doesn't invalidate, say, you know, that the trend is short at the moment, is bearish. It's more that price has diverged here, so it's indicating there's some strength around this area, price is going to pull back, and we're pulling back to this premium at the moment, which would be a great area for sales. Now we can look at these lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows. which is great, gives us an indication of trend. I wouldn't say DXY is, moving amazingly, because obviously failing to make a higher high isn't the best thing to see, because it could give you some sort of doubt that price is going to continue lower. However, that's why we concentrate on the structure of the high, 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 low, and we just see this as an indication of, okay, we can get our temporary EU longs if there's an opportunity to, up until an area in DXY where it would be sensible to assume there will be some strength to continue our trend, unless of course we break down again and create lower lows. So let's go down to the M15 and see what opportunities there may be for today. So on the M15, with that narrative now that we could be short-term bullish, long-term bearish because of the trend, we can look into where we want to see opportunities from, or what we want to see price structure do in order to take advantage of those, right? So I'll start off with the pro trend opportunities, right? For a sell opportunity, the best place would be, above these highs, because that's buy side liquidity, somewhere possibly into this 1 hour fair value gap / order block. It may be higher, obviously it doesn't have to be this area, but what I would want to see is price come up into this area, and then so it comes up into the area, creates a structure, sweeps that structure, and then breaks down, of course, and then we get our nice corrective pullback to our lower time frame POI to continue this trend down. So that would be the best case scenario for some shorts in the near future. Of course, we may not even get that high in price, but usually these work as draws on price, right? Imbalances and order blocks usually draw price towards it. Price, of course, could, it's done this internal sweep here now, so we may break down from here and do the same type of pullback to our POI here to continue lower, because price could always sweep this previous daily low here, which would be the previous daily high here, because if you look, they're kind of diverged as well. Again, it may head towards that previous daily high first, do something like this, and head down lower. DXY may head for its previous daily high buy side liquidity first, so we may see a sell off from here instead of here first. Price is going to grab that liquidity and then sponsor the move up into this area. So sales could happen now from here, may not be all the way, as DXY seeks buy side liquidity, and then later on, or now if it chooses to, we create a structure up here, then break down, and those are our high probability selling options. So let's get into what a buy may look like at this moment. So of course we've built up these lows here. This is the Asia lows as well, which there'll be sell side liquidity below. We could see price do this, break up higher, create a new higher high, give a corrective pullback, and then head on higher into this order block here, or fair value gap, or higher more into the premium up there. So that's the first option. Of course, you'll have your negatives of, this buy side liquidity may be swept before that pullback, and sells may be something that looks actually better, but this option's still here. We could create structure here, break it ever so slightly, pull back, and go for a temporary bullish move. And just to add to that, if we see this scenario, that may happen, and there may be divergence now, right? Because this low is all the way down here, this low is just here. We may see that DXY does this and breaks down. If that were to happen, that would go with EU breaking down slightly to here, taking some sell side liquidity, and then breaking towards the upside. That would be the divergence. That would be SMC, because it would be strength on EU, weakness for DXY. So that option is very possible. Again, now for another scenario, we may see price come lower, price could come down here, do the same thing, take some sell side liquidity, create a structure, maybe even sweep it again, break above, and go higher. Obviously these things aren't with trend, But if this POI draw is still here at that time, price may just do that. It may come and get sell side liquidity to sponsor its move back to the premium, and you could get that counter trend temporary bullish behavior. So I think those are options that are available, especially because we are so close to this previous daily high and causing more divergence. But the sells with pro trend look good if we do take out this buy side liquidity here and change structure within a POI. So I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you gained value. Let me know if I need to explain anything in the comments. Remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys soon.